Day 14 of the Oregon Coast Trail. I am doing my intro from the bathrooms of the Washburne State Park campground, simply because I came in here to use the bathroom one more time before I left, and now I hear it raining outside, so I might as well do this while I'm dry. So today, very first thing I'm going to be doing is going over Heceta Head, which has the lighthouse. After that is hashtag the tunnel. So the tunnel is, it's a tunnel. It's a Route 101 tunnel. I think it's about a quarter mile, but it doesn't really have a pedestrian walkway. It does have a button to push to alert drivers that cyclists at least are in the tunnel, as long as drivers are paying attention to that. They're supposed to slow down as they're going through the tunnel, but after that, that's about 3 miles of kind of the sketchiest part of US 101. So this is an infamous section of this trail. It's kind of unavoidable. You can't really walk the beach. There's no trails around that section of US 101. So that's what I'm going to start with. Once the scary part's over, I have some beach walk, and then I've got some road walk into the town of Florence, but not on 101. So the very first thing is going over Heceta Head in the rain, and I have all sorts of extra high-vis, hopefully high-vis gear to go through hashtag the tunnel. So I'm gonna get started. Okay, gonna do this quick because my phone is getting a little wet. So this side of US 101, there's actually some trails as well. They are marked as an alternate to actually get to and from this campground. Obviously, you can get to it from the beach, as I proved yesterday. But today, getting to the Heceta Lighthouse and over Heceta Head, I'm going to take this forested track. Sorry, I'm trying to shelter stuff. Just because it's a little bit more protected than the beach. It joins up with the official line of the Oregon Coast Trail right before the climb up Heceta Head. So rain doesn't always show up on camera. I'm trying to protect my phone as much as possible while filming. Definitely raining now. I was hoping this bridge would have some water so it show. It's one bridge without water. But yeah, it's raining pretty good. Everything's getting pretty wet. I'm still on my way up to the lighthouse. Alright, rain has cleared, at least temporarily. It's still spitting a bit, but I have crested the hill and it's showing where I am, on my way down to the lighthouse. So I'm officially back on the red line of the OCT, been on it for a while. And these headlands, you kind of go over the headland and then head down to the lighthouse is what I've noticed. So that's what I'm doing now. Going down the switchbacks, getting a peek at the top of this lighthouse. I've been hearing sea lions too. Alright, looks like there's a little park down there. It's actually going too. It's actually lit up. I've been hearing sea lions. I've seen so many harbor seals already, but I have not seen any live sea lions. Not so fun fact, sea lions will often come to the beach to die, so I've seen some dead sea lions, but not live ones yet. Alright, well maybe I should go to wide zoom. Taking the little detour to Heceta Head Lighthouse. There's some angry crows, but also wet picnic benches, but I mean, everything's wet right now. I'm gonna stop and take a little bit of a snack break, little bit of a calm time before hashtag the tunnel. I think this little headland looking thing right here is probably hashtag the tunnel. And then it's some windy, no or low shoulder stretches after that. I'm going to be looking forward to being done with it, but a little bit of luck, if that's the rain for today, then it's done now, right before hashtag the tunnel. So, coming back, I think that's a bed and breakfast down there. Notes were that it's very pricey though. And then again, This is the lighthouse, which is still active. All right, so I'm about to head over, up to US 101 from the parking lot from the lighthouse trails. And it's right before the tunnel. There's actually a bridge right before the tunnel too. So I have what I hope is comedic overkill of high-vis stuff. So I've got my rain jacket, which is a little bit more visible. I've got the high-vis bullfighting vest. And then Veggie actually paid for some safety equipment from her trip on the OCT. They found an OHV flag on the road, so I have that attached to a pole sticking out of my backpack, and then I've got my headlamp that I'm going to be turning on. So, here we go. Looking back at the lighthouse, procrastinating. So the bridge has a sidewalk. The tunnel does not. You might be able to see there's a yellow sign up there. It says has a bicycle on it. This side of the road has a button where you can push it and there'll be a flashing light, which is supposed to let people know that there's cyclists in the tunnel and they are supposed to slow down. Supposed to and actually doing it are not always connected. So the advice I got for the tunnel was click the button on this side and then go run across quick when there's a clearing to the proper side for hikers. Okay. Push button. Flashing 30 miles per hour. I have time. Ooh, and I have a car. The other advice I was given is to keep your phone out like you're filming. Film or pretend you're filming because people are more likely to behave. But yeah, no shoulder through this tunnel. And I just waved a thanks to those people for giving me some room. All right, shutting this off for now. Okay, nearing the end of the tunnel section. More cars coming. Had quite a few cars come in. Some of them did speed limits, the renewed speed limit. Woo! Oh, that was a close one. Some of them didn't. But I'm now through the tunnel, and I have almost 3 miles of 101 where it's a little windy with very minimal shoulder. I'm gonna have to jump across from side to side to be more visible. I will look forward to this being over. Approaching the sea lion caves. It's actually a tourist attraction. You actually have to pay to go see caves where there might be sea lions. I heard some by the lighthouse, but I didn't see any. I'll still keep an eye on some of these cliffs as I pass them. Obviously, I need to be a little bit more focused on the road than the possibility of seeing sea lions. One of the benefits of rain in the Pacific Northwest, God rays. They're so phenomenal to actually see. I love those things. Beautiful. Taking a break at a pullout, I'm really, really close to getting to my exit. I just really wanted to point out how much traffic has picked up and how foggy it's been the entire time. So, well, at least after the God rays. After the God rays, all of a sudden it was just fog. So really close. Really looking forward to finishing this. Oh my God, here is my freedom. I need to jump this barrier to get to it. Hold on. Ugh. One more leg. Ugh. I get to leave US 101 down to the beach. Beach. Oof. Coming down a bit of a dune here. Beach. Beautiful, fogged in. Beach. And looking back at the reasons I had to walk 101. If you could see it, it's just rock cliffs into water. But now I have beach. Alright, taking a break, stripping myself of high vis, but I completed the tunnel section of the trail. That is something to celebrate. Yeah, it's a little intense at times. So yeah, stripping my high vis. I got 6 miles of beach, and then it's a 5-mile road walk into Florence, but it's not US 101, so should be better. But I now know all the high. You know what? I might use this when I'm going through OHV sections. It might make a couple people laugh anyway. If you don't know, off-highway vehicles usually have one of these attached like on a string up at the back, and so that they're visible. So if they're all streaming along on their OHVs and they see me plodding along with one behind myself, I think that might make a couple people laugh, or at least not like zoom past me on purpose. Okay, done. I know these beach walk sections are probably just a lot of the same in the videos, but they're so peaceful to me in real life here. So I'm loving these beach sections. They're, you know, you've got the sound of the waves. It's not that hard to walk, especially now that I'm starting to get these long distances in between access points, which means I have the beach all to myself. It's just really nice. I do want to give a shout out to Cammie. At the last pullout that I stopped at before coming onto the beach, she was parked there and she shared some grapes with me, and it was delicious. So thank you again, Cammie. Alright, this is a clear sign that we are in between access points, because a lot of people, oop, there they go. A lot of people bring their dogs to the beach here. You don't usually see big groups of birds like these. Quite a few pelicans out here. These guys are all pelicans. But you can see, even though I'm not chasing them, I can't get too close without them flying off too. So probably pelicans and seagulls are the most of that. What makes up the most of that group there. Currently at high tide. The tide is coming up and almost reaching these gorgeous dunes over here. So this is pretty cool. This is just after high tide. You can see where high tide went up to, but there's still all these cool little pools as the tide is receding here. Show over here as well. They've never been as distinct as walking this beach right now, and we have another gathering of birds. Oops, I get my poles out of the way. Over here. And out of seemingly nowhere, the nice big beachside homes emerged from the mist. I'm starting to see people again too, and dogs. Okay, a lot more developed now. I'm about 1.5 miles to my beach exit. I've had this cool, almost mist through this entire beach walk. You get closer and to the ocean, it gets a little bit more mistier. Funny thing though, I just had somebody come up and ask me if I walked from Yachats, which I did. And he saw me on Yachats. He's like the third person who's come up and said they saw me in Yachats, which is interesting because I went through Yachats pretty early in the morning. But apparently I made an impression in Yachats. He was actually very confused when I said, yes, I did walk from Yachats. Okay, so 1.5 miles, and then I've got a river to go around, and I have to exit the beach. Here we go. Here's a good example of the mist. Hopefully this is coming out on camera. It's pretty ethereal. Turn this on just in time. I'm not sure if you could hear that. That's the foghorn. I've been hearing that for a while. Out of the mist came this north jetty of the Siuslaw River, and this is where I obviously am coming off the beach. I have a grand tour through Florence to get over and around it. We'll be stopping halfway in Florence at the Lighthouse Hotel. Here it is again. It's funny, I knew I'd end up somewhere around Florence anyway today, and I got the recommendation for the Lighthouse Hotel because unlike some other hotel breakfasts that are kind of like mass produced and reheated, this is actually like a fresh cooked breakfast. So I'm far enough into the trail right now where food is a very big influence on decisions. So coming off the beach, and I've got about 5 miles of road walk that is not on 101 to get to the hotel. Yeah, I'd say that's not crossable. It's just funny, it's just such a short distance to that south bank, but it's gonna take a while to actually get up and around it. Not the worst city walk I've been on. Bike path right next to the river. So that's City Hall. And then that's the Lighthouse Inn Hotel next to Hookie Lab. Takeout. Hawaiian, I guess. I was so excited to get a shower and food, I forgot to do the end video clip for today. So that's the end of today. So glad Tunnel Day is behind me. I should note that you can take the county bus around that section. It's not 100% necessary. It's just you need to work with the timetables of the bus. So I think for most people, it kind of disrupts the flow of your through hike. That's a lot of waiting around because there's not that many buses per day. And plus you need to figure out tides and campsites as well. So tomorrow I will be finishing getting around the river, getting out of town, and then it looks like it's beach pretty much the entire day. I might actually have the opportunity to beach camp the next 2 days, which would be amazing, but should be getting down to the Umpqua River tomorrow.